Okay, today we're going to be doing some bone broth and some chicken meat. So the things that we are going to be needing is the bone broth right there. That's the bone broth. And that's the chicken meat right there. Okay, we'll be doing that second. I've got my pressure canner. You only want to fill that up because we're going to be doing, when we do the bone broth, it's going to be in there for about an hour and a half there. And those lines, you want to have it, right there. Those lines, you want the water in there to be just a bit over the bottom line. You also want to put vinegar in there. And then here's the lid. You want to put oil on this rubber gasket right to here that I got my hand on. Okay. And you see the steam, those are the rubber bands there. Okay. You don't want to bring them to the boil. Then you got this thing to pick the mason jars out of the hot pot. Then the magnet thing for the lids. You will need, where are we? You will be needing some salt, the lids, vinegar with a rag. For the chicken meat, I've got 500 milliliters, but we will turn that oven on later for when the bone broth is done. I have 1 liter mason jars there. They're nice and ready to go now to put some bone broth and get them going. I also will be putting you guys, get this up here because we don't need that. Yeah. Okay. Because I've got a set pattern on how I do things. Okay. So this is the bone broth here. Maybe we can get this a little higher. Yeah. I don't have a camera holder. So, yeah. Okay. Bone broth. Pressure cooker, okay? And then, I will turn you around to here so I can show you what I'm doing there. Okay, because I'll be right here putting the salt in, debubbling it, and doing what I need to do here. Okay, so yeah, let's get this show on the road. Okay, now I just use a cotton glove, a double cotton glove to grab the mason jars. Makes me feel like Michael Jackson. Not really. Okay, so I go in here, I grab the mason jar. Okay, this will sit like that. Okay. Oops. And then, ta-da. Now this thing that I'm using to get this liquid in there, it is actually the top part of a bleach bottle. I washed it though, okay? Really well. Okay. There, that's where I want it. And I pick it up with my glove here. Now, that's about where I like to have it. Yeah, you see the, okay, that's the head space. Then, what I do with this, the poker thing, now I do this just, it's a liquid, but I do it just for, to get whatever bubble, just, it's one of those things. I got ADHD, so if I keep the routine the same, I got no problems here. Okay, so basically, just I give it a little stir up like that. But if you got vegetables in there, you really gotta make sure you get the bubbles out. Now, I've got a 1/4 teaspoon here. I like to put 2 of them into the 1 liter jars. And then with the vinegar, got some on there already, is just a little wipe down of the lid, right where the rubber is going to meet the glass. Okay, so that's what I'm doing when I grab the vinegar every time. The cloth to the vinegar. Okay, grab this. Grab one of these rubber band lids. One of these screw-on lids. And I usually have it tight. Not tight, but I'm not using a whole hell of a lot of force there. Because the whole thing of pressure cooking is you're boiling the inside of the jar. It's raising the oxygen up and out of the jar and the air out of the jar. And when it shrinks, everything, the water, the liquid shrinks, will pull down the lid and give it that initial seal. And that's what you want. So, yeah. So we will keep going. Jar. Redneck. Colander, or whatever you want to call this thing. Soup spoon. From the pot, soup spoon. Fill the jar up. Yeah, I've got the pressure cooker there. I've got the heat turned on there. Okay. So yeah. The last time I made this, I made, I think, almost 12, well over 12. I could have made like 14 or 15 1-liter mason jars. Because I like making soups. From salt, 2 scoops. Debubble it, stir it, whatever. You can put the salt in or debubble it first, don't matter. Vinegar on the where the rubber meets the glass. And then magnet, rubber band lid, screw lid, and then tighten it, and there we go. Mason jar, soup spoon out of the pot, redneck thing here for into the jar. Yeah. So yeah, this is looking like a good bone broth. Um, I turned this on at about um 6 o'clock this morning. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear that pop. That no, you don't want to pull it out of there. Okay, because that is a fall. That will be a false seal. Okay. The lid has to go on, and it's got to go on for 90 minutes. Okay. Okay, that's not what you want to do because that's a guaranteed jar of botulism. Um, 2 scoops of salt, debubbler now, and the reason why salt is for when pressure canning, from what I understand, it's a preservative. Metal lid with rubber band. I did the vinegar just before I did that. So back to the salt. Salt screw lid, not so tight. Um, it's a preservative, and they've been using it since ancient Egyptian time when they were making the mummies. So why wouldn't it work now? Kind of deal thing. So yeah, mason jar, soup spoon, and my white thing here, my redneck thing here. Sometimes I got to use my debubbler to get my soups to go down that hole. Because it's not the biggest low hole, but I just did what I did, and I didn't want to spend the money, and this is what I grabbed first. So I saved myself some money by doing that. Yeah, they say us rednecks, uh, lack of sophistication, but you know what? Some of us are actually a little smarter than we admit. 2 scoops of salt, debubbler, and then the vinegar around the top where the rubber meets. Rubber lid part. Yeah, see that? That's a false seal there. But that's okay. That's okay. Because the mason jar is hot. The broth is hot. Screw lid here. So what's happening is the water isn't the warmest, okay? But that's okay. And it will kind of suck the seal down, but the seals will get a little bit louder. There's a particular sound to that seal that you want to hear. Okay. Mason jar. My spoon and my redneck thing here. Yeah. Now you can, you don't want to put anything. I don't want to be putting. I don't. Other people might be rebel canners, but this is just me and this recipe. Okay. I don't like putting in spices, rice, cornstarch, pasta, stuff like that. When I'm pressure canning or doing any other canning, it's salt. That's it. When when I'm water bathing, say apples, it's honey, and that's it. Pickling, same thing. However, I'm trying to learn to do pickling, but I just did the debubbling, salt, so it's everyone, each way you do this, it's got its method, and you need to follow that method. Um, so, um, that was the vinegar, rubber band lid, screw lid, not on so tight. Okay. Now this is about the time where I turn up the heat to full blast. Because I think I got 2 or 3 more jars to put in there. From the back here. Oh yeah. Okay, mason jar. There. Big spoon and this thing. Yeah, I tend to get a little excited when I do this stuff. Because I like doing it. Believe it or not, I'm the first toothless guy with a mustache, little scruffy under the neck, very little hair, a real rough neck. You'll ever hear say that he kind of likes doing this stuff. That was the salt and the debubbler. Yeah. So, the vinegar stuff for the rubber band seal, the rubber band lid, the screw lid, into here. Mason jar. Now I know I'm going to need more mason jars. Okay, they've all been sterilized. But to save on power, I just shut the oven off. And then when I come back, I just turn it back on as I reheat these up. Okay. So I need to get the spoon and stuff here to fill up the mason jar. Okay. And then I just I turn this one down here to low. Then I need to get the salt. 2 scoops. Mix. Debubble. Vinegar to clean the top. Rubber band lid. Get the lid back on that. And then the screw lid here. Now, because this one only holds 7 1-liter jars, okay, I've already got them in there. I've got it up on full blast. I will put this back onto the stove, the rubber band lids, so I can reheat it in a bit when I need to. Now, I got oil in here. Okay, you see how I'm doing this? It's just to get the oil, all the way around here. Okay. All right, now because I put so much oil, okay, some's gonna spill off and what have you. All right, which is okay. There's a certain marks. There we go. And then I turn it like this because right here is my relief valve. I don't want it under there. And this here, it's going to let me know when the pressure's ready for me to get my rocker on there. Okay, so I'm going to let you watch it there. Here. Okay. I might have to adjust the lid a little bit. I'm not sure. Okay. But when it starts, I'll come back as it's doing what it needs to do, because this could take about 5 minutes maybe or so. I'll be right back. Smoke them if you got them. Okay, we're back here. Told you, smoke them if you got them. So I'm smoking one. Okay. See the steam coming out of there? That's a good sign. That smoke there is okay. That was just a little bit of the oil that I put on there. Just gotta wait for this one vent on this side to pop up. So I normally, I don't want this one. Which one do I want? I want this one right here. So sometimes it's a little sticky because I have hard water here, but once you get it up, there you go. Yeah. You don't want any steam coming out of there. Where's my rocker? I know what I can go get. There. Just gotta wait for it to build up that proper amount of pressure. Okay, where's my rocker here? And then, yeah. One more thing, I have to use all the weights. Because of the elevation that I'm at. And then, I gotta take the lid off and flip the seal. I'll be right back. Okay, flip the seal and we'll see if this works now. This one here is about 4 years old, so it's a little touchy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it just takes, I think it just takes a little bit to warm up. That rubber band in there. That's all I think it is. I flipped it around. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little bit for the oil to burn off. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're good. We are good. Yeah, that's coming from the bottom there. Okay, now I still have it on all the way because we want that rocker to start rocking. And when it does, you don't want it rocking all that violently. And the biggest thing here about when you're doing this, you want to do it to your elevation. I think I'm around 1,500 feet, shy of 1,500 feet. So I need all the weights. But somebody say at like 500 feet may need none of the weights. Because it comes like there's on this thing here, it can split. One can come off, another one can come off. So it's like I think it's 5, 10, 15 maybe. So I got to use all the weights. So that's just due to my elevation. So this batch here is going to take 90 minutes only because they're the 1 liters. So that's an hour and a half. Which is more than fine. But if you're doing it in the 500 mils, it is, I think, 75 minutes to do. So and that's just for the chicken broth here and how I do it. And I haven't gone sick yet. So that's a good thing. Sometimes I like to give it a little spin. Just to clean the tip underneath there of anything. If I had a mention, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I put a little bit of vinegar in there, in that water. So just gotta wait for it to rock. And then that's when you turn down the heat. Medium heat, roughly speaking. I think I got mine at the lowest setting on medium. I think there's like 3 or 4. These are in when I turn the heat on, it's in bars. So I like to shut the burner off and then turn it back on and then count to 8. Make sure there's 8 bars. So it does take a little bit of while to build up that pressure. But once you know what to listen for, you know it's going to be coming fairly shortly. Yeah, I think it's starting to get close. There we go. There we go. There it is. Rock, baby, rock. Rock and roll. It's just beginning. Okay. Now this is where I turn it off. Turn it back on. There's one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh shit. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. Just underneath medium. And that's when you start your time. And it is 9:30. So 9:30 means 10:30, 11 o'clock. No, one more. So that means 11. It's going to be 10. An hour and a half, so it's 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's coming out. 11 o'clock. I write it down because that's like a mental image in my head there when this has got to come out. But generally that's how you want it to be rocking. It's going to pick up a little bit. Okay, now when it's done, I will bring you back to show you how to get them out of there without hurting yourself. Alright, see you when it's done. Alright, it's 11 o'clock. All I gotta do is this off the heat. And then just gotta wait for that one to go down. And then we'll be back. Okay, I am back. I have just turned on the oven back. Hold on a second here. Nope. Gonna make sure that's back on at 275 there on the oven. But yeah, I've got the oven turned back on at 275. I've got the lids warming up again. And then I've got the chicken broth heating up. Now it has stopped rocking. And then that thing is down, which means it's all okay for you to open up. So I'm going to set you right over here. Get the lid here off. Gonna go let my horse of a dog in. Yeah, so these ones are all down because I had hopped into the shower as it was cooling off, and so the lids are all popped down. But normally once they're not down all the way. They're not down when this is first. That tab thing will be down and they'll still be up, so you'll hear them pop normally as you're doing this, or within like 5 minutes of doing this. So yeah. All right, that's 7 full liters there. I still have more bone broth there, and I will just repeat that process on it all. And I will have you up in the next video for making chicken meat for chicken salad sandwiches.